joining in. We are going to be doing a bit of shoulder, a lot of hips. Why is it so important to do hips right now? Because, hi, everyone who says hi. Why are we doing hips right now? Because hips are very important. They are the weight bearers of your entire body. So it's really important that you understand why hip mobility. Hi, Zach. I hope you got your maths out. Okay, why we're talking about hip mobility? Because right now is also a time when a lot of y'all are sitting a lot. Y'all are pretty, stationary in one. The movement is very less because we're not going out. We're not. Oh, my friend Goldwyn is here. I think he's going to join us in this mobility session. That would be exciting. Hi, Golds. It's good to see you here. And a lot of my friends are joining this live. I'm very excited for this. Okay, coming back to mobility and why mobility is important right now, because we're restricted on mobilization. We're not moving around much. So that's why I thought, especially also for runners, this is a great time for you uh, to actually understand how much work you can do on your hips, which you don't do on a regular basis, and how it's going to change your running and training for the better. Secondly, a lot of people who have issues with that AC, don't bother about it. You've written to me like 1,000 times in every video I've put out. It's not your AC, it's not my AC, or jiska AC hai, they don't care about it. So please do not talk about that AC while my session is on. We're going to start with a little bit of shoulder work. Guys, I love the hearts, but can we leave that for later? Thank you. We're going to start with some hip mobility, and then I'm going to go up to shoulders. This camera is going to be shifting quite a bit, so I hope I'm audible in this. Yes, okay, thank you. I love everyone who said I love you. Okay, now I want you to begin with just going very simply into imagining that you're going to touch your toes. If you can't touch your toes, do not worry about it. All right, it's totally all right to go down to the range that is your range. Your range is not my range is not your range. So you do not have to do something just because I can do it. If you feel like you want to keep your knees a little soft, not bent, not fully locked also, if you want to keep them a little soft, you can keep them soft. Going down, inhale. Remember, any object that goes away from the ground is exhalation. Okay, from here I want you to go down, exhale, and come up. We just want to do 10 of these. This is just to open out your hamstring, because remember, hamstring is the longest muscle and it is the largest muscle in your body, which attaches from the hip, the back of your hip, basically your bum, all the way down to the back of your knee, and then the insertion attaches to your calf. So it's very important that you understand muscles and how they function with your hip, because if you don't understand that, then you're just like the rest of the herd. You're just following people because they're telling you to do something, but you're not really using your head on how much your body capacity is. Okay, now once we're done here, I want you to slowly walk forward. Okay, place your palms very comfortably. Now get into a nice high plank position. Okay, now some of these exercises, of course, you've seen me show it several times, but today I want to explain to you why this is so important. Now, our hip, before we get into anything more, I think it's important for you to understand that our hip functions in 6 different ways. We have the flexion, extension, leg going back. We have adduction in, we have abduction. We'll do these movements, and we have internal rotation and external rotation. Now, on a daily basis, the only 2 movements that we use are hip flexion and hip extension. We don't really use adduction, abduction, internal, external rotation, but your hip is designed for that kind of movement. So if you're not using that hip fully, there will always be a chance that your hip will be lopsided. So you'll either have any contralateral movement or ipsilateral. Ipsilateral means your one hip is higher than the other. So if you're going to have these dysfunctions in your hip, obviously when you want to do other movements, you'll realize that your one hip is moving better and the other one is quite stationary. Okay, the reason why I like to start off with the world's greatest stretch, which is a hip stretch, is because it really allows your hip to go into full extension at the same time into flexion, giving a deep stretch to a psoas, which is at the back, but also your abdominals. So all these muscles that attach here to your rib cage, this exercise is going to start lengthening that, at the same time working on your adductors, which are your movements that go into internal rotation. Okay, so once we are in this position, I want you to just bring your foot forward, bring it as much as you can. Make sure your knee, your ankle and knee are always in line with each other. So always remember your knee should be on top of your ankle. Your hip stay as relaxed as you like. Now, if you feel like keeping your knee up is too much for you, you can place it down. Watch the toes. This is curling your toes up. This is curling your toes down. Preferably keep your toes curled down so you're also working your ankles simultaneously. Okay, now I'm not going to do too much which you already know of, because I decided to teach you guys something new today. So the leg that's forward, I want you to take that hand and I want you to take it under here. Okay, now once you've placed it under here, take your hand on top of the foot and start pushing your right hip. So whichever hip is gone into extension, this is my flexion movement, this is my extension movement. So any leg of yours which is gone behind, I want you to take that to the other side. So I want you to move this hip internally. Okay, this is called internal rotation. That's what you're doing right now to your hip. We're not giving this movement to our hip at any time. We're only stretching it like donkeys. We're not mobilizing that hip. So right now what you're doing is you're giving it this really deep mobility. You see that complete internal rotation of my hip. I'm going deep, which means at the same time I'm working on my external rotators, which are my glutes, my ITB, all of that. So I'm pushing it out, I'm pushing it out. Now from here, watch my foot. If you watch my foot carefully, first I did that. Now I'm doing internal. So if I can take my hand out, great, I can. I want to take this hand up and just gently twist, which means that this hip is rotating out. I want you to watch the back of my hip. It's rotating out. You can keep your hand wherever you're comfortable. It doesn't have to be up, but this just gives me better balance. Okay, one more time. From here, grabbing the internal, push it out, push it out, push it out. You will start seeing your hip opening up like magic. This is such a good one. I actually learned this from James Newbury. He's in the top 5 in the world fittest men for CrossFit Games. His mobility is ridiculous. You guys should follow him on Instagram. Okay, from here again, going out into external and coming back down. Now from here, I want you to just gently bounce, bounce, bounce. We do this all the time. Yeah, mobility became a big thing when CrossFit became a big thing in the world. But people don't realize that there is so much mobility in yoga which you can take from, and it will really benefit you just in your daily life. Okay, from here we bounced, we go back, just a gentle downward dog, bringing the opposite leg back. Now you'll realize that this hip is a little tight while this hip has completely opened up. Okay, if you want to put your knee down, you can place your knee down, curling your toe up, taking this hand in over on top of the foot. Now I'm going to be twisting to the opposite side. Now you can watch this hip go internally rotate fully. Rotate, 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 rotate. Back down, bringing my hip in. My left hip is super tight. It doesn't like this movement at all. It doesn't like this movement at all. It hates it. It hates it. I can barely even take my hand up here. So like everybody else, I'm quite imbalanced. So you don't have to feel so bad about it. Not so fit girl after all. Okay, coming back down, taking the hand under. One more. Hip rotate. Rotate. Internally rotate it. And down, back. Turning. Other way. Turn away, turn away. And back down. Taking the leg back very gently. Going into a downward facing dog. Okay. Place your knee on the floor. I want to teach you a little bit after we're done with this one, a little bit about toe mobility, because nobody teaches toe mobility, and toe mobility is everything. If you have your feet right, everything that goes, the chain that goes upward is going to be good for you. So we'll get like 5 minutes of the toes in as well. Okay, now once you're here, I want you to bring whichever leg you want forward. It's totally your choice, your left, your right. Okay, from here, either you keep your hands here on your waist or here, whatever is comfortable. curling the toe down. Don't curl your toes up. When you're curling your toes up, a lot of pressure goes into your knee. So preferably keep that knee, the foot, the toes completely flat out on the mat. Okay. Also, if somebody requires cushioning here, please put cushioning. Don't hurt yourself. Patella is a very delicate joint that can will not get damaged so easily, but it can hurt a lot if this is not comfortable for you. So please put any kind of cushioning if you feel the need to. Okay, from here I'm going to drop my pelvis down. Okay, big extensors, big extensor, hip, my flexors are extending out fully, coming back up, going back down. Keep breathing. Inhale as you come back, exhale and extend forward. Breathe as you come back, exhale and forward. Breathe in back, exhale and forward. Okay, we're gonna do 5 more, but slightly more dynamic, because everything has become so static in our world that we're just doing static stretches, static hold, static isometric, yawn, sleep. Oh my god, no, you want to add some dynamic movement. You want to be explosive, you want to explode those muscles, like fast twitch. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and now from here place your hands on the floor. So we opened out the hip flexor of the right leg. Now we're going to open out the hamstring of the left leg. Hamstring, very important. If you don't have good length in your hamstring, you've seen so many of my workouts, they have truckloads of hamstring work. Okay, now as you open up that knee, pull your toes towards you, going forward. Exhale and pull your toes towards you, coming forward. Inhale, I'm exhausted. Okay, coming back again, forward again. Exhale and pull your toes up. Inhale and coming forward. Exhale, pull your toes up, forward. Remember, my range is not your range and your range is not my range. So only do as much as you feel comfortable. If this is your range, good for you. Don't push it. Work within your range. Your range will improve when you start doing something regularly. Muscle memory, consistency. If you don't give your body that, it's just like going to work every day. It's just like cooking every day. It's just like, anyone who's playing tennis, they hit the ball 5,000 times a day because that becomes their muscle memory, right? So this is exactly that. If you've not done something before, slowly work into it, okay? Now, bringing the other leg forward, hands wherever you're comfortable, toe curl down, okay? Dropping that pelvis. You see what a deep, extensive pelvic length I've got right now. Literally, I can open up my pelvis a lot because also I've been doing this a lot, right? So exhale, inhale as you come back. Exhale and forward, inhale and back, exhale and forward, inhale and back, exhale, inhale. Okay, now 5 dynamic. 1. Remember, exhale, exhale. Faster, faster. If you want to keep your hands on your waist, drop it, drop it. 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, and relax. Hands down. My right hamstring is extremely tight, so anybody who wants to have a good laugh, this is your time. Now you see how unfit Fitgirl is. Oh my god, this one is really tight. I'm quite embarrassed, but not really, because I've always had an issue with my right hamstring. Oh my god, this one is really hates it. This hamstring hates it. Okay, exhale as you pull your toes up, down. Okay, you want to make this a little easier, you can actually bring your foot a little to the center. Okay, from here, exhale and up. But if you do this regularly, your hamstring will open up. Although I'm very lazy. As much as I tell people you must do things regularly, I don't do a lot of things regularly. But because I do mobility on a regular basis, this is not hard for me. This becomes easy for me, right? It's just muscle memory. Again, remember, muscle memory is everything. Okay, now from here, bringing that foot back, sit on your heel. Okay, toe mobility. I'm going to go through this very quickly because I want to teach you how to get into the 1990s. Okay, I have a lot of people writing stuff, but I'm going to have to see this later, guys. But I want you to watch the toes really carefully. Okay, we're still not done with the hips. We're still going to go into 90-90 shin box. So, but observe the toes. Most people won't teach you this, and this is really important, especially if you're a runner and if you're watching this. I want you to watch my toes really carefully. Okay, if you see my foot, it goes outward. Okay, it falls outward. When your foot falls outward, that means that you're using the last 4 toes. You're not using your big toe enough. If you want to use your big toe enough, you want to start using your hands and you want to press the heel inward towards the center of your bum. Sounds funny? Do it and you'll start realizing how much of your big toe can actually be engaged. Your big toe attaches to your inner, right? This is your plantar fascia. Attaches to the inner side of your calf. Attaches to your groin. So imagine if your big toe is tight, how are you going to have good hip opening? If your hip opening is not good, how are you going to engage your big toe? So if you think about it, your body is one unit. It works together. If one is not working, everything else is sleeping. So if your big toe is not working enough, you're never going to have good adductor. So all those who are working on their splits, somebody who's working on a full split, you're not going to have good flexibility because your mobility is lacking from your toes. See, nobody told us this. Nobody told me many years ago that when I had a stress fracture in my foot, the problem was in my neck. It wasn't really in my foot, but the pressure coming from my neck, my shoulder and tight hips is the reason why I actually got a stress fracture in my foot. So when somebody tells you something about your body, listen to it, but retrack yourself and say, okay, let me see where I'm going wrong. What am I not doing right? Is something going amiss? These questions you can ask yourself. If you don't have the answers, ask me. This platform is for you to ask me as many questions as you want, okay? So take this toe mobility exercise very seriously because it's for everybody. If you're a runner, even more excellent for you, but even if you're a non-runner, this is going to help you a lot. Okay, so I want you to sit on your heel. Now, focus that all your digits of your feet are sinking into the floor. If they're not, use your hands and from here, see what I'm doing? Yeah, my toes don't like this. My toes have never dug into the ground. That's why I have always gotten injured all the time. All the time. I'm not kidding. My big toe is a huge issue when it comes to running. Anybody who's sending me requests to be in this video, I'm sorry, I cannot accept it right now. But somebody just said, never heard about toe mobility. Tight adductors can be because of this. Yes, very much, and vice versa, like I just explained it. Okay, now please do not distract me any further. Okay, from here, taking our hands, pushing into the big toe. Now you'll start feeling that your 4 toes are quite good, but those who have really tight big toes like me, you're not going to like this at all. So breathe and push into it. Very gentle. Okay, don't break your toes, please, because the toe digits are quite sensitive. They can break easily. So, well, not as easily as the other bones, but they do break. They can break. Okay, so be careful of how much pressure you're putting into your heel. You're putting the pressure towards the center of your bum. That's where the pressure goes to right now. Okay, we're here. Push it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now from here, just take your foot an inch apart. Take your knee slightly apart from here. Okay, taking both your palms, holding the top of your foot from here gently. Now again, all your focus is on the toe. If you're not focusing on the toe, then I can keep doing this 1000 times and not feel anything about it, right? But the idea is that as I'm pushing that toe into the floor, I am opening out the hip, which is the top of your adductor. This is very important that you thrust that pelvis opening. Okay, so if you're really pushing into into your heel right now, I want you to push into that big toe as much as you can. Push and down. Okay, we're gonna do 5 of these. Push it up and down, up and down. Exhale as you push up. Exhale and push it up. One more. Exhale. Push it up, push it up, push it up, push it up, and down. Okay, now this is dorsiflexion of your toes, dorsiflexion of your ankle. We go into plantar, which is our regular Vajrasana. Okay, an important note, And due credit to be given to Paul Edmondson, who taught me about toe mobility last year in Dubai. And you guys should follow him. He's really fantastic. He's a biomechanics specialist, specializes in running, walking, and sprinting. And I've learned a lot from him. And toe mobility has really changed. Everything I was doing in LA changed for me because I worked a lot on my toes, on my hips as well, and my shoulders. Big joints that need a lot of work all the time. Okay, now from here you can relax. If anyone needs a water break like me, please have it now. These live videos are tough. I know some of my friends watching this in the back end are laughing at me. It has to be Goldwyn. Most importantly, I know he's not doing this workout, but he's having a good laugh at me. Made him a workout a few months back, but he never did it. I think I'll expose you, Goldie. I'll expose you on this platform. Okay, shin box, very important. Shin box comes from CrossFit. In our stick mobility terminology, we call this the 90-90. So, okay, gonna have some shifting. Okay, now watch the legs really carefully. We're gonna begin with, you see, most Indians are really used to sitting like this, right? Indians over Americans, I don't mean to sound racist, but because I've traveled widely around there, Indians over Americans, we have way better hip mobility, okay? Because we're also very used to sitting in Padmasana as much as we can. So we sit cross-legged, right? But we also do sit a lot like this. So this is your first start of shin box. A 90-90 shin box goes into you taking your leg out in a 90-degree angle, taking the other leg out in another 90-degree angle. So if you watch carefully, right, that's a 90, that's a 90, okay? Now, when you are sitting in this position, to call me in the middle of my life. Anyway, when you watch this hip, okay, a lot of people will have this going up. There will be a big gap between your leg and your thigh. The idea of doing this exercise is to reduce that gap, right? The idea is to reduce that gap. Now, I want to sit in this position for as long as I can, because this is what changes everything. Remember, any exercise that's done over a long period of time is what is going to help you change the game. Be it handstands, be it weightlifting, be it running, be it swimming, any sport that you are playing. If there is a particular muscle group that you are constantly going to work, so obviously you're going to get damn good at that. It's the same with mobility. It's the same with your hips. If you teach your hips how to do something correctly through and through, you will realize how much better you're getting. Now, sitting in a shin box or a 90-90 is so simple right now. Why are we doing this? Because you're sitting in front of your television. What do? You sit on a lousy couch, right? Your back is everywhere. I'm sorry, pathetic posture. Anyway, a lot of runners have really pathetic posture, but don't make it worse for yourself in the time when you're sitting at home. I'd rather you sit in front of the TV like this, so that you're also working your hip, but at the same time, also having good posture, okay? When I started, I used to sit here. Now I sit here, yeah? So everything changes. It's just a matter of habit. Again, muscle memory. Remember this word, guys? Muscle memory. I'm going to write about it in one of my posts. You'll know the importance of muscle memory, okay? From here, moving into the other hip, exact same. This is just a static sit for max to max 5 to 10 minutes, however long you would like. From here, we're going into dynamic movement again. As you see, my left hip does not like this movement at all. Anybody sending me requests of wanting to be in the video, I'm sorry, I cannot do it at this point. We have a live session, guys. This is a workout. Abhineet Rawat, have you just joined in? I hope you're doing this workout with me and not sitting and watching television with your girlfriend. Okay, we're sitting here. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, bringing your legs in. Okay, I'm going to take this a little back so you guys can watch it. Okay, once we're here, sit comfortably. No hands. Hands in front. You're not going to be using your hands at any given point now. You're only going to be using your hip. So from here, I want you to switch. Switch. Remember the movements we spoke about. Flexion, extension, internal, external rotation, adduction, abduction. Look how many movements we are using here right now. adduction, abduction, very less, but more internal and external rotation of your hip. We're going, keep going, okay? The faster you are able to do it, that means your hip mobility is great. The more you struggle, which I did 5 years ago, we all went through that phase, so don't feel so bad about yourself. We've all been through this horrible phase of having really poor hips, and we're all gonna get through it together. Okay, so we're gonna do just 2 more of this, 1 more of it, 1 last time, last. Now from here, once you're in this position again, coming up, thrust your pelvis forward. Excuse the Union Jack shots. I feel very Australian today. Okay, coming back down, switch sides, drop, up, exhale as you thrust the pelvis forward, back down. Whew. Exhalation, very important. Inhale as you twist, exhale, coming forward. 1 more round on each side. Oh, this gets so good after a point. You will thank me for this mobility session because it's a game changer. I say it like the Americans, that's a game changer. Okay, now from here, watch carefully. Once you've done, so we did 2 movements. We did side to side, coming up in pelvic thrust. Now we're going side to side, pelvic thrust, leg out in full extension. So coming up, take this back leg forward here. Observe the full extension of my hip. Extend, extend, extend. Going back down. Sit, no hands please. Switch. Coming up again, thrust pelvis. Taking the back leg forward. Extending that hip out. Complete extension. I know it's a bit hard to watch through this because it's a vertically placed mobile phone, but I think you get the point. Okay, from here, switch again. Coming up, 1 more round. Bring it forward. Thrust the pelvis. Can very beginners at age of 45 do this? Of course you can. You could be even 80 and do this. And down again. Switch. Up. Back. And relax. Great session, guys. I take a second off. Breathe. Breathe. See how your hips feel in this. Very important for you to just give some kind of feedback. Please write your feedback here so I know exactly how you feel. Wow, we've gone for like a 30-minute session. I think we missed the sunset, but anyway. Can I please post it after I'm done? Yeah, it's gonna be on for 24 hours. You can watch it. Okay, 1 last hip mobility and then we're gonna do 1 shoulder exercise. Okay, I want you to take this leg. Take this leg. Place it on top of your thigh. Those who do yoga, you know how amazing this exercise is. I want you to take your right hand, place it on top of the left hand. Take your left hand, place it on top of your left knee. Now, very gently, press this knee down. Again, we're giving that. Why am I stressing so much on this movement? Because people are not giving your hip the rotation. Everything is flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Ask yourself in a day how many times you do flexion and extension of your hip. We're either moving this way or this way. We're never doing that of the hip. So this entire session has been about giving your hip that internal and external rotational movement. Okay, from here, just gently pressing this knee down. Okay, this is gonna feel a bit creaky on your joints, especially knee and your ankle. If you don't have good hip mobility, obviously your knees are going to take the load of it, and then your ankle as well. So breathe, breathe. Okay, hug your knee to your chest, press it back down. Hug your knee to your chest, press it back down. Hug your knee to your chest, press it back down. Hug, press and go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and extend. Taking the other leg in, mosquitoes are here, and taking the other leg on top of the other thigh, taking your left hand holding the top of your right foot, taking your right hand onto your right knee and press. Make sure your body is nice and upright. Please don't be slouching. This isn't your couch, this is a mat. Okay, and press down and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hug your knee to your chest. Press it down. Hug your knee. Press it down. Up and down. Up and down. And up and down. One more time. Up and down and press. Exhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax. Leg extension. Coming back to one last exercise for your shoulder, and then we catch a 5-minute sunset together because we've had a great workout and I really want to finish this off with you guys. Okay, now from here, taking your hands really close to your buttocks. Okay, I want to show you something fancy, but I don't want to do something very fancy because I know that a huge part of the people who are watching this right now cannot do it. So let's leave the fancy stuff for later. Let's do what's really easy for everyone. Fingers facing the wall behind you. Ouch. Facing the wall behind you. Okay. From here, I want you to just raise your hip up. See where my feet are? My feet are just grounded. I haven't moved my feet once they're there. Very gently. Extend your reverse. Actually, no, you're a table. That's not a reverse table. This is a table. Coming back down. Taking your hip closer to your hand. Watch my feet. Very carefully. Watch my feet. Now, as I propel forward again, I'm taking my hip, feet on the ground, lifting myself up again. This is all core work. You're really engaging, controlling that core. Again, exhale, push that belly up towards belly fat. Goldwyn, are you watching? Belly fat up towards the sky. That's what you have to do. All the way to the top, coming back down, 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 down. Push it up, up, up. Whew. And down again. Okay, we go one more. Inhale. Exhale. Pushing your hip all the way to the top. All the way to the top. Coming back down. Relax. Good. Extend your legs. Slowly walk your hands forward till wherever you feel comfortable. Grab your toes, grab your ankle, grab your knee, grab your shoulders. Anything you like, just don't do that. Okay, wherever you feel comfortable, make sure you keep your chest out straight. These live sessions are really hard, man. We have to talk a lot. It's not like training a person face to face. It's much easier, but this is a little harder. We'll stick to 20-minute sessions next time. Okay, feel really relaxed here. Thank you. Now, going to answer your question.